Hi everyone, Radical Dreamer here, and welcome to the Postal Code Unknown podcast for Saturday, July 22nd of 2017. Hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I wanted to sort of continue the conversation for things that we were discussing yesterday about hiking and mountaineering and the kind of gear that you need by sharing a story from one of the treks that I did in Japan. There's a, here I'll pull this over here, sort of hiding it on the side. So this book, contains some of the record of my passage through the Shikoku pilgrimage in the southern region of Japan. It's an island that has 88 temples. Now I haven't completed this trek. This is something that I feel I'd really like to get back to and complete someday, but it requires a significant amount of time to go through. So I just wanted to sort of share some of my initial impressions from spending 10 days on the trail, and a really cool story that talks about the kindness of strangers. So with that said, I'll open this up and sort of show you some of the just like absolutely incredible inkwork and stamps that you'll see here. And I do want to sort of like mention this because this is something that stuck out to me. Is one of the temples that I visited went out of their way to sort of give a message that was saying, hey, this is a spiritual, a religious pilgrimage. It's not intended for tourism. And they went out of their way to sort of make sure that, because clearly I guess I don't look like someone that generally sort of would do this pilgrimage, because it's a very sort of sacred one, in the area, and has been for a long time. So part of me is conflicted because I feel like these kinds of experiences are important, but as long as you're respecting the culture, I feel like it's an experience that shouldn't be missed. So in this case, sort of like, to get it out of the way, I'm not particularly religious, but I would consider myself a spiritual person. And going on these types of pilgrimages have been ways for me to understand myself and the world around me. And I've been lucky enough to sort of find some self-guided tours that took me through places in Japan that would have been a lot more difficult on my own. Now, I have done some travel on my own, and I've done some travel with some tour companies, and I do want to sort of throw a shout out to Oku Japan, which is like walking in Japan, because they're the company that I've gone with 3 times now, and they've been extraordinary in terms of sort of planning things ahead and making these experiences incredible, especially for someone that's traveling by themselves and really wants a chance to explore the country as someone that has a deep respect and love for the culture there. So without further ado, sort of like I wanted to sort of share a story from this trek. It's about the 7th day out of a 10-day trek that I did there. And I'm walking along, and part of this pilgrimage essentially sort of like the idea is you're supposed to visit these 88 temples around the island. It's about 1,000 kilometers total. In the 10 days that I was there, I probably did maybe 100 kilometers or something like that, maybe 150 at most. So it's not a small amount of distance. It's not a easy thing to do, and you really get a way to understand and view the country from a different perspective than you would by driving or taking the train or pretty much anywhere. Walking is one of my favorite things to do because it really gives me, I don't want to sound like a super hippie or anything like that, but the ability to sort of really communicate with the world around me in a very tangible way. You can feel the air, whether it's hot and muggy or cold and crisp, or like you can see the world around you, and you can feel the way that your footsteps on different terrains sort of like change. And it really is sort of like one of my favorite ways and favorite things about travel in general. So that's why I was so big up on sort of suggesting ways of sort of getting the proper gear to sort of start these kinds of things in yesterday's episode. Now, on this sort of about 7th day, I'd been walking through, and along the pilgrimage, there's basically these little icons and sort of stickers that they have sort of indicating the way. Sometimes it's kind of like a hide-and-seek game trying to find out where the next sign is going, because they do travel and meander through cities and inside and outside, and sometimes it can be really difficult. In general, sort of like it's as long as you're careful, it's pretty easy to stay on the path. In this case, I got lost. I was in the middle of a city. I must have missed a turn somewhere, and I'm trying to get to this temple, and it's pouring outside. I can't get to my map without sort of getting completely wet, and I'm just looking really lost. And these pilgrims on this path, this particular pilgrimage, are called Ohenro, which is sort of it just means pilgrim in Japanese, essentially, sort of for this particular purpose. And I was walking along and I couldn't find my way. It looked obvious that I was lost. And there was an elderly gentleman that sort of walked up and could sense this. I'm using my umbrella. And my Japanese is not particularly great. Like I had much better command of the language when I was younger. But even with struggling with communication barriers, it was easy for this gentleman to know exactly what I was trying to do. And it was this magical moment that I have trouble describing sometimes, because here it is in this pouring rain. This old man is guiding me to this temple that I'm trying to find, and it's almost wordless, Like and if I walked off the wrong way of the path, he's like, no, come with me, and he showed me the way, and I have no idea where he was going, whether I completely interrupted his day, but the fact that he was able to take 10 minutes. And really helped me was something that really stuck with me, and is the type of way that I like to behave with others when I have the opportunity. I do my best to help people in need. If somebody's lost or can't find their way, these kinds of lessons that I learned from other people can be really affecting, and I think are important. So wherever you are, domo arigatou gozaimashita, to the old man, so thank you very much in Japanese, who really saved my day. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I will be talking about the Shikoku pilgrimage in further episodes, and hopefully at some point in a longer form article of some kind. If you got questions, I'd love to answer them on here as well. I'm looking at ways to sort of change the format of the podcast in new ways. So once this first season of video podcasts are over, I might be looking into workshops and interviews and other things that I can sort of do while I'm still in school and still have a way to sort of reach out and contact with you guys. So enjoy, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you'd like to see more of what I've been doing outside of these videos, you can see more at theradicaldreamer.com, where I've got articles and photographs with travel advice and stories that aren't just in a video format. You can follow me on Twitter at @OneRadicalDreamer, or on Instagram at @ARadicalDreamer, if that's something that you're more interested in. If you're interested in supporting me, I do have a Patreon page up as well, which you can find at patreon.com/TheRadicalDreamer. And that's a way, for as little as $1 a month, you can help support me get better equipment and do more videos of this type and make a whole bunch more cool stuff to share with you in the future. And last but not least, if you like what you've been seeing on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and send a couple comments. I'd be happy to answer more questions in future episodes of the podcast. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. Take care.